Welcome to the ASGCT 2026 annual meeting in Boston. This week we are talking with some of our ASGCT members to learn about their backgrounds and talk about ASGCT membership. I am here today with Godwin Iroanya from the University of Missouri. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Excellent. Can you give us a quick intro to your role and the work that you're focused on right now?
Okay. Currently, I am a PhD candidate at the University of Missouri, and my work is majorly focused on the interaction of AAV-based vectors and the patient's immune system.
Fantastic. Okay, so you didn't know this, but I did something fairly similar when I got my start in cell and gene therapy. I was doing upstream and downstream viral vector manufacturing for vectored immunoprophylaxis. So I was working in a lab that takes an AAV and encodes inside of it the instructions for an antibody that you could give to an immunocompromised individual. So at the time they were working on something for COVID. It was 2020.
Yeah.
That was all the rage. But then also for like hospital-acquired infections. So really cool to be discussing where I got started inside of gene therapy.
I think there's a connection here. My side of the research, I am thinking that in the modulation of the immune system, I do not want the patient's system modified.
Right.
I would want to modify the capsid so it can be injected into patients even if they have preformed antibodies against AAV.
Interesting.
Yeah, they can get treated without modifying their system.
Perfect. Okay. So there's all sorts of different ways that everyone here at this show comes into cell and gene therapy. How did you fall into this field?
That's a long question. I'll leave to take a long answer because I have always wanted to be in this field right from high school. I got first introduced to genetics when I was in high school. I remember asking some difficult questions which my biology teacher then thought was impossible. And now growing into the field, I realized that most of the things I was asking are actually possible and people are beginning to do them. Then I found my way from Nigeria to here, got involved in gene therapy and realized that there are still some works to be done, especially in the area of immunology. And then I decided to contribute.
Excellent. So one of the questions we want to ask you, right, is about what you think is most exciting inside of the space right now. So again, let's kind of maybe go back to the research that we were focusing on here. So what's got you most excited about what's going on inside of gene therapy right now?
So there are merging of ideas. First of all, the field is very honest about the challenges. The immune toxicity is a problem, and I am beginning to see people combine ideas from immunology, virology, structural biology, computational science, and more recently AI. So it's exciting to see all those different fields come together to solve a common problem. Yeah.
Excellent. Love it. So yeah, I would love to do a little bit more of a deep dive specifically about the work that you're focusing on here.
Okay.
So again, using AAV inside of the immunology space, just kind of walk me through what you see as the problem that you're solving.
Okay, so I would guess you know that most people, without being treated using AAV vectors, already have antibodies against these AAV vectors. So what we are trying to do in our lab is to ask where on the capsid does these antibodies bind specifically, and can we modify them without trading some biological benefits? If we modify them, are they still able to infect cells? Are they still able to transduce? Will we still be able to use them for gene therapies? That's majorly what we are doing.
Excellent, man.
Yeah. And if you would want me to go a bit further, we are using the
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Okay. So we are using the AAV5, which has been shown to be less recognized by these antibodies, as a model to find exactly what is different in AAV5 compared to other serotypes and see if we can take advantage of that.
Excellent. Very good. Cool. Yeah. So again, this is a little bit further down the rabbit hole, but the lab that I was inside of was also working on AAV6, and they developed a proprietary capsid called AAV6.2FF. That focuses on mutating the tyrosine residues because that tends to be where the antibodies bind. So that's very far down the rabbit hole, but exciting to see work people are doing on other capsids inside of AAV as well. Excellent. Okay, so another question here would be, what opportunity or challenge do you see inside of the field that deserves more attention?
Okay, so I would say that one challenge I see is that most or many researchers do immune characterization as an afterthought, and that can be very risky. Agreed. So I would want to see a situation where immune characterization becomes one of the first things we do, because the patients who receive gene therapy already have a system that is somehow compromised. So we would want to, I would want to see a future where we characterize everybody, how extra load of viral capsids could further compromise this system, complement activation, and all those being put together before a patient receives gene therapy.
Very, very good point. Completely agree. Excellent. Okay, we are here inside of the ASGCT booth on the floor at ASGCT. So we would be remiss not to ask, how has the ASGCT membership helped you in your career so far?
ASGCT has been very great. I would point to a few things. One way the ASGCT has been helpful to me is the creation of the mentor-mentee program, which happened last year. I was lucky enough to be merged with Dr. Jacob Elmer from University of Villanova.
Wonderful.
So I wouldn't say he's better than my advisor, no he's not, but he came at the middle, someone I could talk to, understands the current job market. So we were able to talk science, and he was able to guide me also through some personal things. And then access to the molecular therapy journal is also another great way that I have benefited from ASGCT. Keep updated, and the newsletter they send always about recent discoveries. The field is fast evolving. You want to keep up with what is going on in the field, and ASGCT do very well in this area.
Fantastic. Excellent. And final question here, why has ASGCT continued to be valuable to you as a member?
Opportunity to speak with scientists from various backgrounds gives me the impression that the field is growing and there is future within the space. So that means what I am doing, I think is important and will be contributing to the betterment of humankind in the future. I think that mindset that I get from interacting with scientists makes me feel that, there is a future here for me and I can keep progressing.
Excellent. Love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Have a great rest of your conference.
Thank you so much.